Grammy-nominated musician Cedric Watson talks about his passion for preserving Louisiana's traditional Creole style while adding a unique twist. Take a look.
I wanted to play fiddle ever since I was about like 13 years old, but my grandma couldn't afford me a fiddle. The majority of the ones that I ever saw were always so expensive.
At that time, Cedric Watson was a teenager growing up in the small town of San Felipe, Texas. But he wanted to play fiddle because of the music he heard while visiting relatives in South Louisiana.
The kids, we'd all be in our own little world, but me, I was always in my own little world, even aside from that. So I go get on the radio and listen to the station from Jennings, and I hear people singing in French and speaking in French.
Cedric recorded music off the radio and kept it with him to listen to whenever he felt like it.
And whenever the accordion played, on the tape recorders back then, I press like fast forward, then the accordion's like solo, and just to get to the fiddle, and I like let the fiddle play. I just wanted to hear the fiddle.
It took Cedric about 3 years to get his first instrument, but it wasn't a fiddle.
My grandma said that if I learned how to play guitar, that she would turn around and give me a fiddle eventually. I was 16 years old whenever my grandma got me the guitar. I was about 18 when I got the first fiddle.
Cedric has been playing his fiddle ever since.
It's all self-taught, but being around, having the chance whenever I was playing fiddle and stuff to be around these older, influential musicians, also people young like me, but in particular my heroes who are the older ones, and watching them and listening to them and their phrasing and how they like play, that really helped me a lot.
Shortly after learning to play the fiddle, Cedric also learned to play the accordion. He says that was second nature because of his native environment.
Like growing up in Texas, no matter what, you know, polka from the Czech people and the Germans that I lived around, the Tejano and that culture, but then also all of the Creole people and Cajun people that you're surrounded by in Texas, Polish people. Everybody's there, but if you put all this together, my point is that all of these are accordion cultures. I've probably been singing since I was a kid, you know, but the day I decided in French was the day I decided I liked French music. So I would imitate it, you know what I mean? If I couldn't sing like real French, I'd still like listen as hard as I can, try to know what I'm saying, and then eventually I would learn. The more I mastered the language, I could make up my own words on the spot.
Before his 20th birthday, Cedric had decided Texas was not the place to be if he wanted to play the old-fashioned Creole music he loves.
I found that the majority of my friends that had the same musical interests that I have, as far as like playing French music and stuff like that, keeping up the tradition, also a lot of great musicians like Keith Frank, Jeffrey Broussard, they all lived here. So I pretty much said to myself, you know, I'll come to Louisiana.
Once Cedric arrived in Lafayette, he quickly hooked up with other musicians who appreciate his style and talent.
I was collaborating with Corey Leday. We recorded that first album for Valcourt Records, and that was something really cool because to play fiddle with piano roll accordion or triple roll accordion, that was something that you didn't really hear many recordings of that existed in Zydeco. After that, I moved on to play with the Pineley Boys, and I must have played with them for 3 to 3.5 years. With that band, I traveled like all over, you know, all over the world. Europe, a little bit of Canada, all over the United States, West Coast, that was fun. And we were all just young, you know. I'm the one in the band giving the Afro-Caribbean Creole influence, and they all come from different backgrounds in Cajun music and what they like. And eventually, I ended up with my own little group there, Cedric Watson and Bijou Creole, that I started. Started recording all my own tunes, and the album that I put out was called Cedric Watson on Valcourt Records. That was nominated for a Grammy. So people liked it. I've been nominated for the Grammys, you know, about 4 times in my life. I was with the Pineley Boys the first time, and the next 3 times after that, it was all like my own albums. Of course, with Valcourt Records, they pushed my name out and got me out there. That's when my name got out there as a Grammy-nominated artist, because it was for sure Cedric Watson albums, songs that I wrote for the most part. The only thing that I'm very happy and grateful for, though, when it comes to the Grammy, is that it lets me know that a lot of people really did appreciate my art and what I did, and that means a lot to me.
Cedric says his Grammy nominations haven't done much to help sustain his career as a folk musician, and he does consider his Creole style folk music.
This music is so folky and so down to earth that everyone can come at you and just be like, hey, play a waltz. Hey, play a two-step. Or, I don't know about that one, y'all playing too fast. Just anything. People can actually come and they have these big opinions, everyone's throwing them at you, and sometimes that can be a little bit too overwhelming for a musician. You don't want to hear all that.
There are other challenges as well, challenges that plague many musicians.
Everything from like how the women, everything from like too much partying, everything from like band members could stand you up. But I've been there with the starving musician part, everything. Like as far as like I've been through times where I could only eat like one big meal a day and maybe snack on something else just to make me not feel hungry and go to sleep.
Despite the tough times, there is a reason Cedric maintains his course.
I can't really say that it matters the size of the crowd, but I do like to see a few people, you know, like enough people to where it looks like a party. And I like to see them dancing. If they're not dancing, I like to see them just kind of like smiling, having a good time and loving the music. What I like about Louisiana's crowd though, you know, I like it here. The crowd here is that they love to dance. You know, that's what I like about them. They love to woo, go crazy and yeah, boy, get all, you know, excited. They're seeing people they know. It's a community thing and I like that.